Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back to Bust a Rime. I added a carbon skimmer over here underneath the kitchen just because it was starting to, the CO2 was starting to come out from underneath and get into the cooking area, and I didn't want my cook to have any problem with being able to breathe while doing her job. So I put that little CO2 skimmer, and then I've got lots and lots of food storage in there, which is all sterile, which is fantastic because then I don't need to power those refrigerators. I also put a couple of airflow tiles there, so any CO2 that collects in here will move over there as well. And then the skimmer I set to 1,500 grams of pressure. So it won't turn on unless the pressure gets pretty high, and it would have to be all the way up here. So it's not going to run very often, but it'll just keep it from overflowing. At least that's my hope. We've got a lot of eggs waiting to evolve. That's great. Drecos are doing fine. I've got 1,400 kilograms of plastic, which I think is pretty good since we're not making any petroleum or anything. Let's see. Now, one thing I am concerned about is I'm not sure why I'm running a little bit low on critters, right? There's only 4 here. There's only 3 here. Let's wrangle that little fella and get him over there. Okay. And then I started to, I finished doing the analysis on this gas geyser and everything. And I want to put a pump in here so that I can start using the natural gas, mainly for cooking in the gas range. But we could also use it to generate some power, perhaps. The problem is, though, that the gas is going to come out at 150 C, and a ventilation pump, gas pump, even if I make it out of gold amalgam, has an overheat temperature of 125, I believe. Hang on, don't build that. Just kidding. Let me see here. Yeah, overheat temperature plus 50, 75 plus 50 is 125. So I'm afraid that a gas pump might overheat if I'm extracting gas while it's erupting. So I'd like to make the pump out of steel, which I don't have yet. So I've cleared out a big area here. There were a couple desks that I was not able to destroy, so I figured I might as well just make it part of the decor down here. And they do actually give a small decor bonus. So we're going to pretend that people actually work at these desks, even though I can't remove them. There is a mod that you can get that'll allow you to deconstruct stuff like that, but I didn't want to use any mods in this series. So anyway, I want to start getting some steel, so I built this area here so that we could use this as an industrial area, pardon me, where we can make steel, plastic, that sort of thing. And if we want to run natural gas, we can put some natural gas generators in here. Polluted water is going to go down here, so this might be a very good place for all these things. So, with that being said, I would like to start laying this area out. So we're gonna need some cooling. I was thinking of doing a big steam room. Like there's 2 ways of doing this. One, and maybe there's more, but the 2 ways that I'm familiar with that I've seen done. The first of those is just to have a normal room, and then you have some coolant being pumped around the area to keep things cooled down. I've done that before. And then the other method is to build everything in a vacuum, fill it, put some water in there. Once the water gets hot enough, it'll turn into steam, and you basically have the entire area full of steam, with steam turbines at the top to delete the heat. I guess the only issue with that is you have to build everything out of steel inside the steam room, because it's going to be at least 125 degrees in there, if not hotter, depending on, I mean, to get the most efficiency from the steam turbines, I think you need to run them at around 200 degrees. So you have to make everything out of steel, and since I don't have steel yet, I thought I would just do it the way that I've done it before. So we'll need some cooling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a couple of steam generators or steam turbines at the top. And we don't necessarily have to stick to 4 tiles per floor here. I'm not terribly concerned about doing that. In fact, I even kind of violated the spacing just because I'm leaving some space here. The nice thing is that the bottom floor lines up with this insulated tile that I put down earlier. So we're going to need a couple of generators. I'll have an aqua tuner for the cooling loop. And then we can put in some refineries and some metal refineries and plastic presses and things like that. Now for the petroleum, I would like to have a petroleum boiler where I use heat from magma or from a volcano to boil the crude oil into petroleum, because that's a way that you can make petroleum with, basically just using the heat energy that already exists on the map. But again, you need a lot of steel and stuff before you can do that. So I'm going to start with just a regular refinery. Okay, so let's just start laying something out here. This is just for planning purposes only. Now I will need power. Yeah, there's a few things here. I'm going to want to have like a power spine running through here. So let's set that up first. And I think probably what I can do is just run it along here. Right, that'll be heavy watt wire, and this is what we'll use to power everything. I'm gonna have to break into this chlorine in order to make this happen. I hate breaking open these things because I hate having chlorine floating around, especially since my main base is not really completely sealed in. So if I break into this, I can try to pump it out first. But anyway, we can put a power spine along here, and then we can have, either transformers or heavy watt wire. So we'll leave space for, transformers, let's say, if I'm going to use conductive wire on some of these floors. Okay, so we'll reserve space for that. And then I think, I'm probably going to want at least 2 steam turbines. Maybe even more. I think let's leave room for at least 3. Okay, and we'll stay out of the way of these desks. Alright, so let's say we have 3 steam turbines. And this is just for spacing purposes. And then wherever I put the petroleum refinery, the oil refinery, I'm going to need an airlock. Okay, so over on this side, I'm going to need to have at least 5 tiles to build one of these things. And I'm not sure what floor I'll put it on, but let's just say I put it on the bottom floor. right? So that would be the minimum amount of space that I need over here. And then we can have an oil refinery inside there. Actually, let's move that over a little bit. I'll put it right there. I'm going to need room for a pump so we can pump out the natural gas that it generates. And then we'll have a natural gas generator. Maybe we put that over here. Let's see, power. And I think just one will be more than enough. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and then I can have a couple petroleum tanks or something in here. And then on the floor above, we can put a couple of polymer presses. I think I'm going to want at least 2 of those. Like that. I'm going to want to leave a couple tiles on either side so that they can collect some water. And then above that, let's have a couple of metal refineries. And we can line those up as well. And is that gonna... Okay, I think we're gonna have to put the metal refineries a bit lower. Because here, right, I'm gonna have insulated tile. And then I need at least 2 spaces for my cooling. And then 1, 2, let's see. Does that leave me enough room for a refinery? Are they 3 tiles? No, they're 4 tiles high. So I'm going to have to move all this down by 1 tile. Or I just put the metal refineries. Yeah, here, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we can put our floor there. And we'll put the plastic and the metal refineries in the same space. How high are these? 3 tiles. Man, that's a bummer. Well, I guess I could move all this down by 1 tile. And that would leave us enough room. Let's do that. Okay, so then we'll put the oil refinery here. Right, so that'll be the floor for the oil refinery and stuff. 2, 3, yeah, and then this is where we can put the plastics. So something like that. And then with the metal refineries, I want to leave lots of space in between so I can put storage containers and robots to move things around. Yeah, so we'll put refineries here, plastic here, and oil processing down here. All right, so let's get started on this. Now those insulated tiles, igneous rock, yeah, I think that's fine. We're going to want to delete all that. And then we'll close it in. On the edges, okay. We don't need to build those transformers yet. I'm not quite sure how I'll power it. I might just use the heavy watt wire for everything. Yeah, and you know what? Let's make all this out of granite tile. Okay, and then the polluted water that comes from the natural gas generator, we can either put a vent here, or no, actually I'll just pump it into this. I already have a line, a polluted water line going down in there. Yeah, that's connected here. That was supposed to be a polluted water drop off, right? Because I don't have one anywhere else. But I never put the bottle emptier. Okay. And then I'll put some storage bins here. Just for sweeping things up. So I'm going to want this area to be nice and clean. Everything tidy. I'm going to leave a couple gaps there so we can put fluids in there. I think I have proximity enabled. Yeah, I do. Okay. Alright, let's clean up all that garbage. Alright, that's for polluted water, and I'll give that a 7, so it gets done quick. And let's put one here. There's a lot of CO2 in there. It's going to take me a little while to make a vacuum. Now let me think about this. I think just regular water is going to be okay. Let's see how much liquid I have. Water, brine. What is the boiling point of brine? I think it's the same as regular water. It's a little higher. Okay. I'll put the brine in there. Now that we've got a good use for it. I think they can get in there. Oh, no, they can't. Okay. can. Ah, okay. Alright, I'm going to let that... Now that the brine is in there, let's try this. Now let's put a little bit of water. Because I think with 2 different fluids I can make the seal with only 2 trips. Well, let's check it. I didn't want to stop it just yet. Let's put that back up on there. But you can see here on this, if we look at the overlay, you can see all the gas is gone. I've got 2 layers of liquid, so that should be enough to make the seal. Somebody reminded me about that trick where you use 2 different liquids. That way you don't have to fill the whole thing. Let's look at skills. I have a lot of skill points that I'm just waiting to use. I just haven't wanted to assign them yet until I'm sure that I want them. I do want to keep getting up to exosuit wearing for MCA. He's the only one that can't wear a suit yet. So he has to stay at home while all of his friends are out having fun. Let's see how our critters are doing. 3. I wonder if I'm... Well, I've certainly got plenty of eggs, don't I? My hatcheries are all priority 7. I don't have an egg cracker anymore. Yeah, so these should always be full. Let me just make sure that these are all set to take stone hatches. Yeah. Oh, wrong screen. I'll take the gold amalgam. I guess they're just dying off. Yeah, see that hatch is 88 years old, so I think this is like our first round of hatches that's dying off. I think that'll eventually replenish itself. Okay, there we go. All right, all done. So this should be enough to seal that up. See what happens when we build that brick. Nice. Okay, so let's start to set up a vacuum over here. First, let's space things out. Right, so we'll put the oil refinery just inside. That way the dupe won't have to go too far to use the machine. We could even put lights in here to help speed things up. That might be a good idea. With a dupe sensor. Let's see. Right, and I think the business end of the oil refinery is, I think it's the second tile in from the bottom. We can always test that. But we can put a motion sensor. Let's see, that's not going to hit that tile, so I need to put the motion sensor right there. Right, and we can have that activate the light. The light will give a 15% productivity increase. Okay, so we'll do that, and then, like I said, I'm going to need a pump. So we'll do a gas pump. I'll make that out of gold amalgam. I think it'll be hot enough. Okay, good. That's out of the way of the... And then we'll give that an atmos sensor. And I think that's it. And then I can just run it into a petroleum tank, but I'll put that outside of the room. Single reservoir ought to be enough. Like that. And then we'll have to get it some crude oil. All right, now in the ventilation piece, to begin with, I just want to pump the CO2 out of here. Actually, let's do that. Let's go down because, well, no, actually I'm going to have the generator over here, right? So we might as well just run the, let's run the pipe over that way to begin with. And for now, I'll just put a high pressure vent on the end so that we can pump out all the CO2. What am I making this out of? Iron ore. I guess that should be okay. All right, and then we can just start pumping out the gas and creating our vacuum, and then we'll fill it with natural gas once the refinery starts running. All right, I'm going to need some electricity to get things started. Yeah. Huh. Electricity. What are we going to do about that? All right. I guess we need to put in a few coal generators to kind of get things started. Oh, you dolt. What do I have over here? All right, there's some granite. Let's build a granite ladder so you can get out of there. Oh, I know what that pump was for. That was for the, that's the pee-pee. Yeah, I don't need this, actually. Well, you know what? Let's leave it. That's fine. It won't hurt if they have a second place to drop off polluted water. Okay, yeah, so power. I didn't think about how I'm actually going to power it. I guess I'm just going to need coal generators for now. Eventually we can do natural gas. We can do hydrogen. But yeah, I think I'm just going to have to put... I think I'm just going to have to put some coal to begin with. Like this. Where am I going to put that? I could put that on the other side of the heavy watt wire. I kind of like that idea. So let's dig out some room for some power generation. So over here, for example, I can put a couple coal generators and a smart battery. And we can hook that up to the main power spine. And then I can add several more of those or some other type of power if I need to. This stuff can be deconstructed so that it doesn't get in the way. Okay, and then let's see, what do we need for this? 480. Right, so we can get by with a simple power transformer over here. A small one. And then we can just use regular wire to power these things. Let's do that. That's a little cleaner. Let's see how much coal I actually have. 68 tons. Okay, these are starting to fill back up. Here, let's do this. Max 0 critters, auto wrangle surplus. Although I think I need to put a grooming station in there as well. If I do that, that'll turn this into a stable, and then anytime there's more than a single, well, anytime there's more than 0 critters in there, the rancher will go and wrangle them and take them to where they belong. Alright, so this will give us 1200 watts, which is enough to run a single refinery, I think. So we'll definitely need more power than this. But the steam is going to give us some power, which will be helpful. We'll get some from the natural gas generator. I mean, it's not going to be self-powered by any means. And then once I get my petroleum boiler done, then we'll be able to pretty much make as much power as we could ever want. Okay, so I'm going to turn this on if the pressure is below 20,000. There we go. And that will just start sucking out the CO2. It'll take a few minutes to create the vacuum we need in there. Okay, so let's set up the plastic. So I think I'll just have him do that. And then I'll put a couple of airflow tiles. Again, so that the steam that comes out of the polymer press will condense, and that'll help to keep it cool. The little bit of water that collects there will help to keep it cool. And I should have enough room. Yeah. Well, wait a minute. If I put that there, I need one more tile. I need one more tile of space. And I need to pay attention to what I'm making these from. These should be gold amalgam at the least. Yeah, that overheat temperature of 75 is not going to cut it. I don't think. amalgam will be better. We might have to replace them with steel eventually. Alright, I'll put another airflow tile there. And then this way I can place a storage bin to hold the plastic. Or does that have to be a smart storage bin? Actually, maybe I don't need a storage bin at all. I can use a weight plate. Because I think the plastic drops out right in front of it. Alright, let's build it like this. What I did before is I had a smart storage bin and an auto sweeper, and then I set it to turn the machines off once the bin got full. But I think... Alright, we almost have a vacuum in there. But I think if the plastic comes out right here, I can just put a weight plate there, which is going to destroy my vacuum seal. That's okay, we can manage that. I'll put a weight plate there and I'll just set that to turn the machines off once it detects a certain amount of plastic. Alright, so as soon as I get this vacuum in here, I'm going to have to delete that Atmos sensor for a minute so that I'll put another tile here, and that way I can remove this one and put a plate there. Okay, now these are 240 watts each, so I think they're a standard transformer will work as well. Yeah, see, now we're down into the micrograms. Okay, and then metal refineries. Let's see, I'll just put 2 of them. Let's see, I've got 14 tiles there. The refinery itself is 3 tiles wide, so 14 minus 6 is 8. So we can have 4 tiles of space in between each one. So if I put one there, 1, 2, 3, 4, and another one there, that looks just about perfect. Okay, and those need 1.2 kilowatts each, which is 2.8 if they're both running. Conductive wire can take 2, so I think for these we're just going to do heavy watt wire directly. Okay. So we've got our vacuum. So I'm going to temporarily deconstruct that Atmos sensor. Okay, and then I'll put another tile there. Delete that one. And we'll put a weight plate right there. Now this automation wire, these machines get pretty hot, so I think I'm going to use copper for these rather than lead. Okay, and I'll tell this to send a green signal if it's below 5 tons. Alright, well I guess it's got to be 2 tons. I might want more plastic than that. In fact, I think I am going to want more plastic than that. So 2 tons is not going to do it. And that means I am going to need another tile. And we'll delete this one. Okay. And then we'll have a smart storage bin and an auto sweeper. Does the storage bin overheat? Okay, I don't think it can overheat, so. Okay. Yeah, so in this case, we'll do that. Okay, and then I can deconstruct that tile and I can put my Atmos sensor back. I'm going to need some kilns here too. Okay, and then we should have some lighting over here as well. And I think the good part is, again, the bottom left tile. I don't know if that'll reach. What is the pattern here? All right, it'll go over 3 tiles. So if I do this, I can't see. All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so each one is going to have its own light. Okay, that should work. Okay, that's going to need some power as well. Okay, so in this case, we'll send out natural gas when we've got, let's say, 500 grams. Okay, and then I'm going to place a liquid bridge on the output, just so I can branch off. So I can branch off the petroleum output from elsewhere if I want to. I'm going to throw in another set of generators, another set of coal generators, just until we get things all fired up. Okay. So we have a potential load of 1,000 watts on here. Or I'm sorry, of 600 watts on here. So we have some extra power available. I'll use that to power the lights up there. Okay, potential load here is 730, so that's all good. I think we can put our kilns. I'll put a couple kilns, one for carbon. I'm going to want one basically making ceramic nonstop. So let's put one there. And then we'll have 2 spaces in between for storage. And I should be able to put an auto sweeper in there as well. I need more refined metal. Here we go. Okay, let's make some iron ore. See how we're doing on food. Ah, great. Got 12,000 calories of barbecue saved up. Okay, we'll take the coal. Thank you very much. Okay, this is looking pretty good so far, I would say. Yeah, I'll set the recipes later when we're ready to go. And I should be able to squeeze an auto sweeper right there. Yeah, and that'll cover the kilns. We can have one of these bins. One of these bins to hold clay. Let's see. I think that's soil. Yeah. So we'll set one to hold clay, and I'll set one to hold ceramic. I think I won't see it until I make some. And I think that comes out in raw mineral. Yeah, well, we'll get that going soon enough. I'm going to need glass. I didn't think about glass. Maybe I can put the glass over here. Glass forge. That takes 1.2 kilowatts too, so we'll definitely want a lot of power. And yeah, okay. Let's extend this. I really need a ladder over here on this side. There we go. Okay, I'll see if I can get a glass forge over here. And I'm going to need to do some sort of cooling. Last time I set up some kind of a fancy thing where I was dumping my glass into a water tank and letting that cool. I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small tub with crude oil in it, and I'll use my cooling loop to keep that cool, and I'll just drop the glass into the oil. The oil has a vaporization point of almost 400 C. And it has a pretty good specific heat. Or maybe would petroleum be better? Petroleum might be better. Thermal conductivity of 2 and vaporization point is much higher. Heat capacity 1.6. Yeah, and petroleum's actually got a higher heat capacity. So maybe petroleum will be better for that. I also want to get a cooler on this from that water vent to make the steam flash. Okay. Let's do another one of these. I'll make the battery out of lead. I think that's fine. More heavy watt wire. More automation wire. Speaking of which, I need to set the conditions on here. 90-60 is what I usually do. There. All right, and let's sweep that up. Okay, we'll need to pump up some crude oil. That's 91 degrees, which is not terribly hot, so I think a pump made from gold amalgam should be just fine. And I'll use insulated pipe for that. No, let's not. Let's use... I'll make it out of granite pipe. It's cold here. And this way it'll cool down the oil on its way up. Except once we get to here, from here I will use... Oh, you know what? I want that to go in here. Okay. From here I will use insulated pipe because I don't want it to heat up my liquid lock. Okay. Yeah, research is pretty much done, except for the space stuff, so I don't need to get any more research started. Have we got some iron? Yeah, there we go. So I'll put that right there. That'll cover my kilns. Okay, the circuit's at 620, so we can power this as well on the same circuit. No problem there. Okay, well, I think that's good for today. So we need to figure out where and how to make glass. Based on that decision, I might want to move or change the size of my chiller, of my steam chamber here to include that. Right, what do I want to make this out of? I think we can just make it out of igneous rock. And if I put it over here, this is where the glass will come out. So we can have the molten glass come out here, drop into a little, a tank of oil. I'll have to reroute this wire. Otherwise I'm going to have those power things down here. I'm not sure how much oil I went in there, but maybe like a couple thousand kilograms. All right, so let's do that. It's going to be kind of ugly. Or would it be better to... What if I do this instead? No, I'm still not going to have enough room. There. Yeah, let's do it like that. No, that's no good either. Okay, that's good there. So what I need 3 tiles to the right of it. All right, I think that'll work. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll just put some, fill that with some oil or petroleum. Maybe we just, or I start with oil, and if it gets too hot, it'll turn into petroleum, right? We send our cooling loop through there with some radiant pipe to keep it chill. And we just drop the glass in there. So for that, we're going to want insulated pipe, fairly short run. And we'll do a liquid vent. I'll make the vent out of gold. And it'll drop in there, and then we can eventually put an auto sweeper up there. To take it out. Or not. The dupes should be able to pull it out of there themselves, actually. Alright, let's see. Do I have... No, I need a pitcher pump down here for the oil. And that's 90 degrees. And these overheat. So I'm going to need to make the pitcher pump out of ceramic. So let's queue up a little bit of ceramic here. And that's what the auto sweeper's for. Needs more clay. Oh, does it burn coal too? Huh, that I did not know. Alright, so maybe I want to store coal in this other bin. And we'll just let the ceramic drop on the floor. I wish you could use a bin to store... I wish you could define the quantities of different materials that get stored. So you could store more than one material in it without having it get overloaded by one or the other. Okay, I'll need 400 ceramic. The ceramic gives us plus 200 C overheat, so... yeah, and I think that shows up in Raw minerals, does it? Yeah. Alright, so as soon as I get 400 kilograms of ceramic, I can build that pitcher pump, and that way we can bring some crude oil up here to dump out. Yeah, and I probably don't need 20,000. Let's just make it 10. Save some coal for somebody else to use. Okay, now we got 400. So plumbing, pitcher pump, ceramic. There we go. Put that right there. And then I can auto bottle it. I'll just have... Oh, you silly Willy. That wasn't very elegant. Why did he leave? I guess it's time for lunch. Alright, I'm gonna wait till that gets done before I quit today. Everything back home seems to be going alright. Okay, yeah, our ranches are full again. I think I can probably get rid of these 2 incubators. Well, I'll hold off. Because I'm going to want to go to get Home Sweet Home, I'm going to need 12 duplicants. So I'm going to, eventually I will add 4 more duplicants. So I want to check and see how many hatches and incubators I'm going to need to run 12. Doing it this way, I think you need like 2 hatches per dupe. I've got 20, 16. Yeah, so with 12 I would need 24, so I would need like another 1 or 2 ranches to handle 12 dupes. Okay. Yeah, that got built. Alright, so I should be able to say that I want, there we go, crude oil, enable auto bottle. We'll give it a 7 so it happens this week. Let's see how our temperature's doing. It's already getting hot here. There you go. Okay, so that's just a matter of time. So I'll wait till we get, you know, at least 1,000, maybe more oil in there. I'll let it fill up into the second tile a bit. And hopefully that'll be good enough for cooling off our glass. What's the temp on this wire? This wire will melt at 1083, so hopefully having that insulated pipe run along with it will not be a problem. Okay, so in this case, I think this is going to be okay. Now, what I need to do is I need to make... I'm going to need to make enough steel to get my aqua tuner done. And I can't do it here because I don't have any cooling. So what I'm going to need to do is find some cold water. This perhaps. That I can just, that I don't mind heating up a bit. This is minus 4C. That might be good to use. And also going to need 1200 watts of power, which I can actually do with just 3 dupes. Yeah, maybe I'll do it up here. Of course, I got all this water up here as well. Oh, that's too far. Anyway, I'll find a place where I can set up a temporary refinery, where I can pump in some water and just heat it up and dump it back out. I think probably down here, because I've already got the pump, which will save some time. I can just I'll put a refinery up here. I'll build a few tiles. Actually just one. And then what I'll do is just stick a jumbo battery there. I'll put 3 manual generators. And there we go. 1200 watts. And then we'll take polluted water in. And hot water out. Like that. And then I can make steel. Assuming I have lime. Where do I see lime? No. Is that in raw material? Industrial ingredient? No. Alright, let's see. Am I making lime? No. Alright, let's start making eggshells. Let's start making lime with eggshells. I'll put one of these down here for making lime long term. Yep, keep going with the oil. Alright, and I'm going to need 12, because I need 1200 kilograms of steel to make an aqua tuner. Alright, so I'll get that going, and in the next episode we'll keep working on this and get this thing up and running. What do we got now? 800. Okay, I think that's about enough. I'm going to disable that now. And yeah, hopefully that'll be enough to cool down the glass. All right, thanks a lot for watching, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.